Alright, welcome to this video. This will be the third in a series on writing the equations of lines. In this video we're going to talk about writing the equations of special case lines, which are horizontal and vertical. Horizontal and vertical lines. Alright, so first let's get some basics out of the way. Horizontal lines are lines that have a slope of 0 and are in the form y equals a number. Y equals any number. Y equals 3, for example. So this number sign here, it could be any number. It could be -3, it could be a fraction, it could be y equals 1/3, y equals -2/3, y equals -5, y equals 10. Any of those would work. So horizontal lines have a slope of 0. And think about it, a horizontal line, just like the x-axis here, a horizontal line has a perfectly flat slope. It's perfectly flat, so it has a slope of 0. That makes sense. Alright, now vertical lines. Let's talk about those a minute. Vertical lines have no slope, also sometimes called undefined slope. Undefined slope. Okay, undefined or no slope, however you want to look at it. And are in the form x equals a number. So like x equals 5, for example. And think about it, a vertical line, like the y-axis here, if it's completely vertical, you can't define the slope because it's so vertical. It's completely vertical, so there's no way to define that slope. And if you remember that our slope formula is m equals y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1, we can really break this down a little bit more and understand why the slope of a horizontal line is 0 and the vertical line has no slope. Alright, so let's look at an example. Let's use our y equals 3 line, for example. So y equals 3 is going to be a horizontal line through 3. Alright, so we'll just draw this across. Whoops, it's not very straight. Let's start that over. Alright, so again, not perfectly straight, but you get the idea. Okay, so we have the line y equals 3 here. So points on that line, y is always equal to 3. Okay, that's why it's y equals 3. A lot of students get it confused and they think if it's y equals something, it's got to be vertical because the y-axis is vertical. But it's not that way. Notice, y is always equal to 3. Okay, so let's just put some points on here. So right here we have the point 0, 3. Okay, right here we have the point 2, 3. This point right here is going to be 4, 3. Need to put these in parentheses since they're ordered pairs. And this point right here would be 6, 3. Let's put some negative ones over here. That one would be -4, 3. Alright, so notice that on all points on this line, every point on this line, what is the y-coordinate? It's always 3. So that's why it's y equals 3. That's why a horizontal line is y equals the y-coordinate of any point on that line. The y-coordinate is always equal to 3. So y is always 3. No matter what value of x, -4, 0, 2, 4, 6, no matter what value of x, the y-coordinate is always 3. So that's why a horizontal line has the equation y equals the y-coordinate, y equals 3. Alright, so let's talk about why the slope is 0 here. So let's pick 2 points. Let's pick this point here and this point here. So we have 0, 3 is one point, and we have 6, 3 as another point. Okay, let's label these. So we have x1, y1. We have x2 and y2. So let's put these in the slope formula. So we have y2, 3 minus y1, 3 over x2, 6 minus x1, 0. So we have 3 minus 3 is 0. 6 minus 0 is 6. 0 divided by 6 is 0. Okay, so the slope is 0. That's why the slope is 0. There you go. No matter what, look, no matter where we put, which 2 points we pick, y2 will always be 3 and y1 will always be 3. because the y-coordinate's always 3. So anything 0 divided by anything is always 0. This numerator, the top part of this fraction, will always be 0. That's why the slope's 0. Okay? So now let's start looking at a vertical line here. Alright, in this example we'll look at a vertical line. So we'll use our x equals 5 for example here. So let's talk about that. So if x is equal to 5, that means x is always 5. So right here is a point on that line. That would be 5 comma 0 right here. Alright, another spot where x is 5, we can come right up here. That would be 5 comma 3. Up here, 5 comma 8. Down here, 5 negative 5. 5 comma negative 5 right here. And then down here, 5 comma negative 9. Alright, so vertical line. This is a vertical line right here. Ooh, not very straight, but that's okay. Alright, so vertical lines. Notice the x-coordinate here. What's the x-coordinate right here? 5. What's the x-coordinate 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 here? 5. No matter what the y-coordinate is, x is always 5. So that's why it has the form x equals the x-coordinate you're given, which in this case is x equals 5. X is always equal to 5. No matter what value of y, x is always equal to 5. So now let's talk about, now that we have some points identified and we have our line x equals 5 drawn in here, sketched in, let's see why is the slope, why is it considered to have no slope or undefined slope. So let's look at that. So remember our slope formula is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So let's pick 2 points here. We'll do 5, 8 and 5, 3. So 5 comma 8 and 5 comma 3. We'll plug those into our slope formula. So we have x1, y1, x2, y2. Alright, so it's going to be y2 3 minus y1 8 all over x2 5 minus x1 5. Alright, 3 minus 8 is negative 5. 5 minus 5 is 0. Uh-oh, we're dividing by 0. So in mathematics, what happens when we divide by 0? That means undefined. We can't divide by 0. So negative 5 divided by 0, 10 divided by 0, 12 divided by 0, negative 17 divided by 0. It doesn't matter what the numerator is. If the denominator is 0, it is undefined. So we have no slope. We have undefined slope. We can bring our calculator up here. Many students will tell me when I ask them what's negative 5 divided by 0 or what's 3 divided by 0, they'll tell me 0, and that's not right. So I show them negative 5 divided by 0, error, dividing by 0. You can't do that. You cannot do that. It's not 0, it's an error. It's undefined. In mathematics, dividing by 0 is undefined. Alright, so that's why our slope is undefined. Okay, on the next part of this video, we're going to look at a few different examples in the way that questions can be asked and in cases where you're going to have to deal with horizontal and vertical lines. So let's get to some examples. Alright, here's our first example. It says sketch and write the equation of the line parallel to the y-axis and passing through negative 9 comma negative 2. Alright, so first we have to analyze the question here. It says write the equation of the line parallel to the y-axis. So what does parallel mean? Well, parallel means, like railroad tracks is one way to describe it. Here's the symbol for parallel. Parallel lines have the same slope. We'll talk more about parallel and perpendicular lines in a later video, but the definition of parallel is lines that never cross. Right? The other way that you can remember it, if you write the word parallel like this, the two L's right here together in the word parallel, so these two L's right there are parallel. Notice they're stacked side by side. They are parallel L's there. So that's either way you want to remember it, like what railroad tracks or in the word parallel, the two L's are parallel. However you remember it, that's what parallel means. All right. So let's get rid of that real quick, and we'll take a look at what this is meaning. So now that we know and we're sure what parallel lines means, parallel lines mean. Now we need to write the equation. So if we are parallel to the y-axis, the best thing that we can do is go ahead and sketch this. So let's put in a y-axis here, so y. Let's put in an x-axis here, like this, x. Okay, so it says parallel to the y-axis. Okay, so if I'm parallel to the y-axis, I have to be a line like this, right? I have to be a line like this in order to be parallel to the y-axis. So what kind of line is this? It's a vertical line, right? So we know we're going to have a vertical line, and vertical lines, remember, have no slope and are in the form x equals a number. X equals the x coordinate we're given. So in this case, it's got to be x equals -9. So we're out here at -9. Here's our equation. X equals -9. So if we had to sketch it, that's what it would look like out here if we're calling this -9. And it's a vertical line, therefore it's in the form x equals the number, and in this case x equals the x coordinate that you're given. Alright, so, and if you want to check yourself, realize, what's the x coordinate right here? -9. What's the x coordinate right here? -9. What's the x coordinate right here? -9. What's the x coordinate down here? -9. So we know we did it right because x is always equal to -9. Alright, let's look at another example. Alright, now we have another question here. And this one asks us to sketch and write the equation of the horizontal line, so we know it's horizontal, that passes through 4,7. Alright, so remember that a horizontal line has 0 slope, and it's in the form y equals a number. So it's y equals the y coordinate that we're given, and our y coordinate right here is 7. So we already know that it's y equals 7. That is our equation. Simple enough. Now we need to sketch it. So let's sketch a y-axis here, sketch an x-axis here, alright, and then y equals 7. Okay, we know it's a horizontal line again. So horizontal lines are parallel with the x-axis. They're straight across like this. So we'll say 7's about right here. So y equals 7 right there, just like that. So we have the line y equals 7. And again, let's talk about it. What's the y coordinate right here? 7. What's the y coordinate here? 7. What's the y coordinate here? 7. What's the y coordinate right here? 7. Y is always equal to 7. On a horizontal line, it's y equals the y coordinate you're given. So y equals 7. Alright, let's look at another example. Alright, another example here. This says sketch and write the equation of the line that is parallel to y equals -5 and passes through the point 4,12. Alright, so if we are parallel to y equals -5, so let's go ahead and get our sketch going here. So we have a y-axis here and our x-axis here. Alright, and we'll use an orange color here. So I'm going to make this line right here, y equals -5. We're going to graph that in orange. So if it's y equals -5, let's see, what kind of line is that? That's horizontal. It's got to be horizontal. Y equals -5 would be down here like this. We'll call this -5. So here's y equals -5. This is the line that they're talking about. But our line needs to be parallel to that and pass through this point, 4,12. So if we are parallel to y equals -5, which is a horizontal line, if we're parallel to a horizontal line, then we also have to be a horizontal line. So our line must also be horizontal. And horizontal lines are y equals the y coordinate given, in this case 12. Y equals 12. So y equals 12 we'll put up here. This certainly isn't to scale, but that'll be okay. So y equals 12 is up here. Y equals 12. Alright, so that's what our line should look like right there. And our point 4,12 would be about right here. 4,12. Alright, so y coordinate here is 12. What's the y coordinate here? 12. What's the y coordinate here? 12. What's the y coordinate here? 12. They're all 12. Alright, well, let's look at maybe one more example and then we'll call this video good. Alright, in this example it says sketch and write the equation of the line that is parallel to the x-axis, and passes through 3, 5. Alright, so let's get our sketch going here. We've got our y-axis here. We've got our x-axis here. Alright, and we are parallel to the x-axis. So if we are parallel to the x-axis, we know we've got to be like this. We've got to be a horizontal line. If we are parallel to the x-axis, we must be a horizontal line, because the x-axis is the horizontal axis. So to be parallel to it, again, we have to be a horizontal line. Horizontal lines have the equation right here. Y equals the y coordinate we're given. So in this case, it's y equals 5. Alright, so y equals 5 we'll say is about right here. And our point 3, 5 would be about right here. 3, 5. Alright, there we have it. We're parallel to the x-axis. We go through 3, 5. What's our y-coordinate here? 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 5. It's always equal to 5. Alright? So, I hope this video has helped. Make sure and subscribe to the YouTube channel. Post comments, ask questions. I'm here to help. I'll see you in the next video.